This is Eagles Talk on A2D Radio, and we are brought to you always by Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pies, sandwiches, cutlets, and meatballs, and seated rolls. Mention A2D Radio to get 10% off your in-store purchase. We are live. I am back. I had a couple weeks away. I am back.
That's why we lost 2 weeks in a row. Just throwing that out there.
No, it's not.
Are you sure? Can you prove that?
Yes, I can.
Prove? No, you can't.
Oh my god, are you like a jinx superstitious guy? You would be.
I'm just saying. Chucksy's gone for 2 weeks. We lose 2 games in a row. I'm just throwing.
I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter like where you got your sandwich from. It doesn't matter what beer you're drinking for the game, what seat you're sitting in. What you do in your everyday life has absolutely no bearing on what happens in professional sports. None.
Disagree.
So we got PY who's superstitious. We got Brinks who's not. And for me, I don't know. I can't say I'm him or not. So yeah, I'm back, and let's just say I'm not happy, and we will get to it. We'll discuss a lot of that we have to unfold here. And I'm sure a lot of us has a ton to get off our chest, but. Unfortunately, tonight there is no Les Bowen. He's traveling back home from North Carolina. So, yeah, he will hopefully be back with us next week. Next week, just a reminder, because the Eagles play on Monday Night Football, we will be doing a post-game show. So that will be right after the game ends. Hopefully, it doesn't go to overtime. So, because it will be on even later than usual. But, yeah, that will be on. We will be on after the game, doing a post-game recap of the Eagles-Chargers game for next week. So that's programming note at the top of the show. But let's get into it. We're going to talk, guys, unfortunately, about this Eagles. There's a lot that has been said over the past 2 games. Kind of can be repeated in terms of we talked about ad nauseum. It's been the issue all season of, these are the problems with offense. These are the problems with the offense. Blah 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 blah. I'm sure we all agree. Like, everyone is to blame. Like, there's no one single person to blame. Everyone has fault. So that's out of the way. Let's instead of being a dead horse, let's look forward. Okay, let's move forward and try to see where our, I guess, confidence level is, or panic meter, however you want to put it, where it's at with this team. So our poll question is: the Eagles will win at least 3 of their next 5 games. Agree or disagree? I'm going to go with Brinks. Let's lead off with you, Brinks. What say you? How confident are you for them to finish strong this
year? Negative $1 billion. This is. I see 10-7, and I don't think 10 wins is going to get you a wild card spot in the NFC. I just don't. Really stacked conference this year. Now, they're going to get a break. They're going to get some breaks here because Justin Herbert broke his hand and he had surgery. They claim he's going to play. I'm not sure I'm buying that. You got the Raiders coming in. You got the Commanders twice, accompanied with Buffalo. But I can't worry about outside noise about what those teams are doing. Like, I see nothing to give me any hope that this team has what it takes to right the ship of the trash football I've seen since the bye week. Trash. Like, those Packers and Lions wins, those were I feel those were, at this point, those wins were more detrimental than a loss would have been. Because maybe a loss right out the bye to the Packers on Monday Night Football would have triggered some change faster. Probably not, but maybe. So now we've just like 2023, we're looking at a trash product, and we're justifying it by a win-loss record that looks good. Like, we've played this game. It's the exact same thing, except this time it's an offensive collapse, not a defensive collapse. But don't look now. The defense is on the field for 2/3 of the game, and they're wearing down and getting injured, and that's going to fall apart. They got their asses kicked in both sides of the trenches against the Chicago
Yep.
Chicago Bears. Badly. 281 yards rushing they let up. That's not an elite defense. That's a tired gas defense. So I don't see it. I don't see it. I think it's going to be 10-7, and I think they're going to miss. I don't think 10 wins is going to get you a wild card spot. Big game. Big game that all Eagles fans should watch on Thursday Night Football this week. The Dallas Cowboys are heading to Detroit.
Yeah.
I think the loser is going to be – I think it's an elimination game when it comes to wild card contention, because I'm not sure how the tiebreakers are going to work between the Eagles and the Cowboys for the division. That tie looks pretty cool for the Cowboys in week 2 or 3 against the Packers. And the Eagles do have a tiebreak over the Lions because they beat them head-to-head. So perhaps if the Lions can beat the Cowboys, there's hope for a wild card. But the Eagles have so much. Like I posted in our chat after the game on Friday, like it's baffling to me how a good football team, a talented football team like this, can hit a new rock bottom in weeks 10, 9, 10, and 11, or 10, 11, and 12. New rock bottoms each week. It's unbelievable. I have some ideas. I have some stuff I'm going to say throughout the show that everyone's going to probably disagree with, but whatever. Like it's threat level midnight right now. It's time to start jamming that panic meter. God forbid they go out there to LA against Trey Lance. He's their backup and lose. It's on. It's the collapse is on. I think it's already on, but if they don't win this game against a backup quarterback, then it's definitely on.
Well, I do see it looks like Herbert is trending to play, so I'm anticipating he's going to play.
I mean, he just had surgery. Like what?
Yeah, but he played. P.Y., hold on. He played with that hand broken the rest of the game. So he had surgery. And again, it's his non-throwing hand. He'll have some type of cast or glove on it to keep it, on his hand, to keep it whatever. I would anticipate he plays. So that's what I'm gonna go into it with, and I'm not gonna expect otherwise until the reports say he's out officially and Trey Lance is in. So that's how I'm gonna treat it. But PY, go ahead. Where are you? Because Brinks disagrees. He thinks they get 2 wins at the most out of their next 7 games. Or I'm sorry, 5 games. I apologize. 2 out of the next 5 games, and brings them to 10 wins. Which, if you look at the Cowboys schedule, like Brink said, which is so the Eagles, we have the Chargers next Monday night. Then we have the Raiders, Commanders, Bills, Commanders to end it. The Cowboys have Lions, Vikings, which is going to be a win, Chargers, we'll see, and then Commanders, and then Giants. So they've got they got a favorable end of the year schedule as well. So 10 wins might not even get you to the division if the Cowboys take care of business. So PY, what is do you think the Eagles will win 3 of their next 5 games?
If they keep playing like this, and this is what your team is looking like moving forward, I don't think so. Like, one of the major factors in the next 3 out of the 5 is you're playing the Commanders twice, who most likely don't have Jalen Daniels, and you're playing the Raiders, who are arguably one of the worst teams in the NFL. Like, the Bills and Chargers, we'll see what happens with them. But, there's problems. There is immense problems with this team. The offensive line can't block. The running back that you gave an extension to isn't looking great this year, which is a big problem with the offensive line with him as well. The scheme is atrocious. The play caller can't scheme anything open. Jalen had a bad game last game, which is uncharacteristic of him when you needed him the most. The defense, which has been the strength of this team the whole season, is looking like it's finally gassed. And for whatever reason, the defensive coordinator is throwing out Brandon Graham over guys who have been productive, like Josh Uche. That makes no sense. And he keeps pushing the buttons for a Dory Jackson when the Ja'Cory Bennett is here. Give him some playing time, something for the love of all that is holy. How many times do we have to watch Adoree Jackson get roasted like a Thanksgiving turkey by CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens?
Well, they're two elite wide receivers. I mean,
I understand that.
Corner, I think you're being. I think you're being a little. I think your Adoree Jackson agenda is kind of showing a bit.
He's not.
How can you watch this team right now? And Adoree Jackson's not even in the top 25 of issues with this team.
Yeah, I don't.
Adoree Jackson, great. Like, no, but I mean, come on.
I think it's a little.
That's what you're leading off with. Seriously?
Yeah, I let you guys finish. You only let me finish. You interrupt me halfway through.
Okay, go. Continue.
Like, there's all these issues on this football team right now. Like, you should beat the Commanders. You should beat the Raiders. Those are bad football teams. But it's looking like we're a poorly coached football team on offense. Sirianni is allowing these guys to basically do whatever they want, which is not a good look. They're undisciplined on offense. And they're also at times undisciplined on defense. They're especially undisciplined on special teams. I don't know what Michael Clay is telling these guys, but they're just doing whatever they want, especially with your Xavier Gibson. Like, I don't know what to expect with this team, which is something I'm shocked to say, because I figured with a Sirianni-led team, maybe it's not going to look the prettiest at times, but they're going to be a tough football team. They're going to be a team that outworks people. They're going to be a team that toughs out wins. And a lot of times it's starting to look like the 2023 team in different facets in terms of the offense instead of the defense in 2023. But I guess I expect it more from the coach, and I expect it more from the team as a whole. And I just think it's funny that we threw out the whole, AJ's just being selfish. AJ's being a diva. He just continues to tell everyone what we all knew was coming, is that the defense could only plug that hole for so long before the dam burst. And ladies and gentlemen, the dam is bursting in front of us right now. Like, if they don't figure this out, this is over. You're not, like Brink said, you're not making the playoffs. You're not sniffing the wild card game if they continue to play like this. Like, and what's going to happen? Is Sirianni going to be let go? Or are we going to continue this offensive coordinator roulette wheel every year? Like, I don't think they win their next 3 out of 5 games if they play like this.
Okay, I disagree to the poll as well. I think they win 2, and like I said, 2 wins out of the next 5 to finish the season brings them to 10-7, and that's going to be very difficult. That'll win the NFC East if the Cowboys get upset somewhere. So you're relying on the Cowboys to kind of falter in some of these games. So it's going to be very, very close. I hope I'm wrong. I think it is possible that they win. They pull off 3. 4 would be like, wow. All right. So, but I think it is possible they could win 3. But if I'm going to bet, I think it's 2, and that brings them 10-7, like I said. To continue my point about your thing with Adoree Jackson, I think Adoree, if you expect Adoree to be anything than he already was, then of course you're going to say that he's been an issue, blah blah blah. You need Jacorian out there. I have been, since we traded in for him, I have been pushing for Jacorian Bennett. If I'm saying I'm still okay with Adoree being out there, then that's saying a lot. I don't think it's a big issue. I don't like to point out that he's getting cooked by CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. That's not saying much. That's not saying much at all. Like, they will cook almost any cornerback. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens cook Cooper DeJean on separate reps, on separate passes. So I don't putting that on Adoree Jackson isn't really fair. He's, like I said, he's going to give up catches. because he's just like an adequate, a solid corner. But I don't think there's anything that's been egregious that he's put on film the past couple of games. I don't think there's anything egregious. He's exactly what you should expect a Dory Jackson to be. So
And Chuck,
that's the thing. Yeah,
and Chuck's like we don't have a problem with the coaching on the defensive side of the ball. They had a bad game on Friday, but I don't think this is going to become a underlying problem with the defense. And Vic Fangio knows what he's doing. If Jacorian Bennett was performing better in practice than Adoree Jackson, then Jacorian Bennett would be out there. Same with Keely Ringo and then the new guy, Carter, whatever, from the Jets. Like, those guys would be playing. Vic Fangio doesn't mess around.
Yeah, I don't think, again, they had a bad performance. That performance does remind me of the loss to the Giants because they got bullied and out schemed, and that's kind of, we can't really be too surprised in terms of scheme because, man, like, Ben Johnson is so good.
Yep.
I touched on it like last week on Film Don't Lie that
very creative.
Their run game is very, very good, and I did a film breakdown preview of like Kamunungai, and I had alluded to before that game on Friday that this running attack is something that's the foundation of the offense is the running game, and we saw firsthand. I know Eagles fans most Eagles fans don't pay attention to the Bears and all their games, but I've watched all their games because I'm a Munungai guy. He's my guy. And I like Caleb Williams and all that, so I've been paying attention to them. Their run game is legit. Like, their offensive scheme is legit, which is the total opposite of what we have in Kevin Patullo. So being able to see that, like, Vic Fangio is great, but you got to tip the cap to Ben Johnson. He had his offense rolling, like what he was able to do. And if you guys want to see some film breakdowns of what I'm talking about, tune into Film Don't Lie on Wednesday morning. Pete and I will break down some film of the Bears running game and what they were able to do. But yeah, it's super impressive. So the defense had another stinker. I still have confidence in the defense, like overall. Like they are still overall, like, they've bailed out this offense time and time again throughout most of the season, and they deserve like the benefit of the doubt. So I think that's where in one of our chats, I think Pete asked, like, hey, is this going to be worse than the 2023 collapse? I don't think so. And the reason I said is because I know you guys say, oh, like, 2023 was a defensive collapse. It was both. Like, the defense was bad, but the offense was just as bad. The offense couldn't do anything. So it was a mess on both sides of the ball. That's why it looked horrendous. I don't think it's going to be that bad because I still have faith in the defense. That's pretty much the difference here. But it's still going to be, like, overall, this team, if we are able to get into the playoffs still, I don't see us, like, maybe we'll win one game, maybe, but I don't see us getting out of the divisional round. I think that's like the furthest this iteration of the team, even if we improve on offense a little bit, I think there are too many issues for this team to overcome in order for us to repeat. So, and that's the expectation, right? Like, we want to repeat. That's the goal. So if that's the goal and the expectation, I don't think the Eagles can meet that. So that's where I'm at. I don't think it's going to be as bad as 2023. But
one thing that's the same, Chucks, is the body language throughout the game.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Which is piss poor.
Yeah, I hear
that's part. The main reason for that is you have a CEO, vibes-oriented head coach, and the CEO and the tasks that are supposed to be handled by the CEO head coach aren't being handled. Therefore, his vibes are falling on deaf ears, which is why the Eagles either win the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl or have one of the most laughable collapses in NFL history under this guy, which I'm sure we're going to get to Sirianni later in the show. Like, that inconsistency doesn't work for me. So I know,
Yeah,
like,
I hear
we're
you.
not getting let go at the end of the season. Like, I'm not getting like crazy overboard like that. But
No, I don't
he
think
says
you
he's hold on. He says he's evaluating everything, but we're in week 13, so what you're evaluating isn't correct. So maybe you have to look in the mirror and change how you're evaluating things. He says
Yeah.
he's not. He says he's not. We're not changing play callers, but we're evaluating everything.
So
I've already decided we're not changing the play caller.
So
but we're evaluating everything. That means you're not evaluating everything, Nick.
So that's BS. Like, I don't believe him at all. Because remember, he said the exact same thing in 2023, and then we put Sean Desai in an outhouse and promoted unofficially Mr. Pencil. So
and that's why they're not going to that's why he's not going to make a change now, because he tried to make changes in 2023 and it got worse because he didn't make the right changes.
Yeah. I don't think people want Kevin Patullo fired. Like,
I don't even need him fired.
I don't think if you make a change, it does. Like, would I want play calling duties relieved from Kevin Patullo? Yes, but I don't think that's the only way. Like, there are other ways you can fix this. The thing is, there are, like, what confidence can we put in that they will do those things? Because if you're gonna keep Kevin Patullo as the play caller, right? Let's break this down. So Patullo, what does he do? What does he do well? Right now, the only thing you can hang his head. What's the phrase? Hang his head.
Hang his hat on.
Yeah, sorry. Is the red zone. I think we can all agree his play calling in the red zone for some reason flips a switch, and he's really good in the red zone. Awesome. Good. Don't touch that. Like, keep doing what you're doing. But there are so many things that we've discussed and we've talked about over the weeks. If they were going to make a change schematically and improve certain things, like, why haven't they already done it? Like, I am a Joe Schmo. I don't know. I learned football. I tried to study it as much as I can. I still would even call myself just an average fan who, in terms of football knowledge. If I can see the things that are wrong with this offense schematically, it boggles my mind that these offensive coaches can't.
Anyone can see it. That's the red flag that's sticking out.
I won't say anyone. We have some dunces here in the fan base, but
those are idiots who think that they know what they're talking about, and they're trying to tell MVP and Hall of Fame quarterbacks what they know based off one play.
No, that's people. That goes to my point. It's not just anyone. Like, not anyone can see it. But what my point is, it boggles my mind how they haven't been able to fix it yet. Like, now, I touched on this before. Do I think they can fix some things and will? Sure. Like, I think there are some things. And I wouldn't be surprised if they started incorporating more under center play action, blah, blah, blah. Like stuff like that to the start, right? Go back to this things like that. Yeah. Would I be surprised if we saw a little bit? Yes. I mean, no, I would not be surprised. I just think there's too much to fix. Yep. That's the issue. There are too many things to fix. So I don't know if it's able to overcome. Now, like, I hope I'm wrong. I really, really, really hope I'm wrong. So let's get to some of the chat, because it's definitely going off, and I definitely want to get touch on some of these stuff. So Alfredo 31, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. KP will not be calling plays by Monday or after. We touched on it already. They already announced that he will call plays, so that's not changing unless if Laurie comes in and forces it within the next few days. Expect Kevin Patullo to be your play caller. So
it's not Jeffrey Lurie's MO though. He doesn't.
It is at times.
He hasn't been though.
Here's the thing, he's done it before though. If he feels that things are going off the rails, he will get involved. He doesn't like to, but if he feels it's that bad, he has had a habit of doing that when he feels it's dire.
Yeah, but how many examples of it being in season though? Like 2023, I don't remember. Maybe I'm wrong. 2023, that change. I don't think that was Laurie, but I could be wrong. So even if I give you that, right? Let's say Laurie did butt in 2023 and forced that play caller change, right, on defense. That's one example. What other examples throughout Laurie's tenure has he had where he butted in the middle of the season? Off season is a different thing because that's when owners can step in and evaluate everything. But in season, I kind of agree with Brinks. Like that's not really his MO. He's not Jerry Jones. So nor is he. What's the owner in New York? The Jets. Woody
Johnson.
Woody Johnson. Yeah. So like he's not them. In season, he doesn't like get involved like that. He also says when we play the Commanders, JD will be playing. Yeah,
I disagree with that immensely.
I think there's a chance. He plays at least like one of them. So I think I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I think there is a chance because they didn't put him on IR, so they expect him back within 4 games, or they're considering him around that time frame. So I would not be surprised if he plays. SJM says, what are we talking about? Special teams. I have zero confidence moving forward until the offense shows some sign of luck. And then John Edcock says, dang, guys, we can't beat Washington 2 times. Well, the thing is, we could have said that about the Giants, right? We can't beat the Giants twice. Like, we should have beat the Giants, but we lost one of them. So I am not a division opponent in Washington.
Well, 21-point lead to the Cowboys, too.
I am not going to overlook them and say, hey, like this is bad. Chris Kaufman, thank you for the super chat. Anyone remember Dana Bible, our OC from 1998? This offense is that effing bad. I vaguely remember. I wasn't watching football back then as closely as I am now, so I don't remember that specifically. But yeah,
my first game ever was in that season.
Were you? Yeah.
Maybe it was 1997. I forget if it was 1997 or 1998. They played the Patriots at the Vet, and they blocked a punt and won. And the Patriots, I think they went to the Super Bowl that year with Drew Bledsoe. And everyone got mad because they weren't going to get the first pick. And I didn't understand as a little kid. Like, why is everyone mad? We just won for the first time in months. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Some more comments here before we move on. Let's get to Greg Miller says, I really thought the Eagles would call Justin Simmons or bring up Marcus Epps.
Marcus Epps is on IR.
When is he off it?
I don't know.
That's what I was going to bring up. Like, when is he off IR? Because when he comes off IR, that's probably an option. So I wouldn't rule that out. At this point, I don't think you can realistically expect Justin Simmons. That was always a pipe dream. I don't think it was that realistic to expect Justin Simmons to be an Eagle. But we'll see. John Adcock also says Carter running into Q is one of the craziest things I've seen in a long time. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you bring in like a newbie.
You brought someone in mid-season, miscues will happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to crap on Michael Carter. Again, he's still learning the defense probably. But this is also why like I wanted to keep Cooper DeJean in the slot. Just saying. Yep. Ben Johnson, Eagle fan 240 says Ben Johnson showed us what a great OC can do. It was incredible, juxtaposed against our rudimentary OC schemes. Yeah, You guys want to see what great offensive minds look like? Go look at that game.
And there are people who said he wasn't going to make a difference in Chicago. Like they really thought that like Ben Johnson wasn't going to be anything special paired with Caleb Williams. They're showing everyone wrong.
Yep.
Like Caleb Williams looks like a stud right now, and certainly not a bust.
Yep.
Exactly. I wouldn't say he looks amazing, but he's certainly better than
bust.
I gave him credit for.
Yeah.
He's basically tied for the number one seed right now.
I told him I wanted him to show me. He's showing me they're playing good football.
He's playing very, very well. The jump from year 1 to year 2 with good supporting cast and a really good head coach has made a huge difference. Yeah, he's not perfect, but I think I said this on Film Don't Lie. The one thing he's turned around the most is his sack avoidance. His rookie year, he got sacked a ton, but now
he was trying to do too much.
He's really learned how to adjust to the game and know when to create and what levers to pull. He leads the league in sack avoidance. Like, it's insane.
It's crazy what happens when you go out and you get a head coach who doesn't look like he eats chalk for a living.
It matters. Yeah, head coach matters. Just remember you said that when it comes to Justin Herbert. Just saying.
Well, he's had a good coach. He had a good coach last year.
I'm just saying.
We'll see what happens this year.
Remember you said
again, I don't want to hear it.
For some reason, you like to ignore it. So when it comes to certain,
did he not have a good coach last
year?
Yes,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Benny DeLong. This team sucks. The season is over. Sorry to tell you. Offense is too predictable for playoffs. Too many holes on the team. They have no effort, and it's always blaming everyone but themselves. Blah blah blah. So yeah, another really, really, really upset fan, which I totally understand. John Adcock asks, with how this O-line and run game is playing, do you guys think a change will make a difference in this offense? It depends on the change. Like, are you alluding to a change in play caller? Maybe, maybe not. Like, I don't know. Like, it really depends what you're talking about. So, go ahead. Sorry.
I think Scott Loeffler, like, if you made the change, I think you would see an increase of production. I'm not saying he's going to fix everything, but I think he could give you enough creativity and different viewpoints to move things in a better direction. Maybe not the 100% correct direction, but a better direction. Also, something that might be more interesting. Instead of throwing Grant Calcaterra out there to block, put Latu out there. Like, he's shown that, like, he can block when it's called upon. Like, throwing Grant Calcaterra out there every week, 13 plus snaps a game as a blocker of the majority of his plays is malfeasance. I don't understand what the coaching staff sees and they think to themselves, you know who's a great blocker? Grant Calcaterra.
Dude, I've been asking the same thing for weeks, so you're preaching to the choir.
Not to mention the fact that, like, the offense is just annoying at times because, like, obviously we have all these issues and whatnot, but I'm like, I just hate the fact that they just make it so much more difficult than they needs to be. I think that's the most frustrating part. It's not the fact that they're bad to me that drives me crazy. It's the fact that they don't need to be. And there's just so many times where it's just like, just take the easy route. Just, go forward. Don't try and spin around the guy. Like, I think that's the most infuriating thing at times.
Chris Kaufman does ask, after Chicago, I thought his practice window opened. I looked it up. Yeah, you're right, Chris. His practice window does open starting this week. Well, they didn't announce his practice window to start. It's eligible. He's eligible to return to practice this week, but it hasn't. The practice window has to be opened first by the team. Matt Berg says Nick seemed to talk a lot today about scheme and changing. Does that just mean more spread offense and empty formations? I don't listen to press conferences a ton, especially with this staff. I don't usually get too much out of it. And if you listen to Kevin Patullo's press conferences, you'll lose brain cells. So I don't listen to a lot of press conferences.
I never get angrier than when he talks.
What?
I said I never get more mad than when I listen to him.
Oh yeah, that's why.
Because obviously, like, what he's putting on film is atrocious, but what he says is even worse somehow.
That's bad. Yeah. He's the worst. His press conferences are worse than his play calling. But it's like
impressive.
Matt does that just mean more spread offense and empty formations? Like, that's one of them. Like, if you go more empty and spread, that helps because they're so good at doing empty.
Yep.
So absolutely that would help. It alludes to my point that would that be enough?
No.
That's not enough. Like you've got to do more than that. But it is a step. It is one thing they can do to get better. So yeah, whether that is one of the solutions, we shall see. We shall see. All right. So that is we talked a lot about the state of the defense, or state of the offense. None of us really have much confidence in that, right? We kind of touched on the defense. Brinks and I said like we still have some faith in them, and we don't think it's a lingering issue. Is there anything? So like I think the run defense, even though it's been subpar, that's been probably the one weakness of that unit for all the season. Even though I think in a lot of games they're fine. That I don't know. That the run defense doesn't overly concern me. I think it'll get fixed. I think it'll be okay. Are you guys panicking about the run defense? First of all, I'll ask that first.
Not really.
I mean, it is what it is. Like some weeks it's really bad, and some weeks it's really good. Like it just depends on the opponent. It depends on whether or not Fangio is plugging in the right guys at times. Like I think my two biggest issues right now in defense, like just I'm throwing the Dory Jackson out the window because it's like whatever. But my thing is, I under no circumstances should Jahad Campbell play 0 snaps. I don't care how good Nakobe Dean's playing. That should not happen.
Yeah, 0
And
snaps.
secondly, we all love Brandon Graham. He's a great guy. He's a great leader in all this. There's no way he should be playing over Josh Uche. I don't care. Like Uche has been a contributor all season long, and I like Graham a lot. But like, you can't tell me he's giving you better snaps in the limited snaps he's getting over Uche. I don't agree with that.
I don't really have. I mean,
I'm kind of like with
if Jahad Campbell wants to play in the games, I mean, 0 snaps is bad. Like first round pick, and he showed he can 0 snaps. I'm not sure what that's about, but I mean, if he wants to play a role, he's going to have to beat Nakobe Dean out in practice or Zach Bond out in practice. Like that's just what it is, and he's not better than those guys.
I'm not. He's not. We all know that, but like, I'm not saying that he deserves to play over them, but like you should be finding at least a few snaps.
But they tried to put him at edge rusher PY, and he got steamed.
Well, here. This is what I will say when it comes to John Campbell. Overall, as a rookie, considering he's a rookie, is he a better player overall than Nakobe Dean right now? Probably not. Because Nakobe Dean, he's a veteran. He knows what he's seeing. And when he, in terms of run defense and attacking, like he's blitzing too, like he's really, really good. Is Nakobe Dean significantly better than Jahad to where Jahad should get no snaps, especially in certain downs and situations? No. I think that Jahad has shown, if anything, the one area he is better at than Dean is coverage. Like Jahad can run the pole. He knows where his zones are. Like he has better movement skills and overall better athlete, I'd say, than Dean, even though Dean's no slouch. So I think it is a thing where you have to find Jahad snaps on passing downs, on like obvious passing down situations. Get him in there because I do think over his career, Dean has shown like he'll have some reps, but coverage is not his.
It's not his thing.
He
doesn't excel at it, which we all know.
Chucks. I mean, they rushed for 281. You're going to put a coverage linebacker in the game?
No. That's why. I get that. No, I totally understand it. This is more so overall. This is not specifically toward the Bears. Like, I think like against the Bears game, 0 snaps. That's a little too much. But I understand the mindset of wanting Dean out there because he's the better run defender. So I get that. It's more so moving forward. Like, you have to find ways to get Jihad involved on the field when it's obvious he can contribute.
Yeah,
And
3rd and 11
to the edge rusher thing. I'm not even saying put him an edge rusher because he shouldn't be an edge rusher. I've been saying that since we drafted him. I've been telling PY, and he didn't believe me, and he still refuses to admit he was wrong about
It's too early, all right? I'm not ready to concede.
So
but Chuck, they did try it at times, and it
they
didn't
did.
work.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. He kept getting his functional strength is
Can't set the edge.
He can't set the edge. If you put him at edge rusher, he's automatically one of the lightest edge rushers there are out there in the league. And so, even though and you have a guy like that, a smallish guy at edge, he better be flying off the ball on pass rush. The thing is, he's not that polished as an edge rusher, as a speed rusher. You know what I mean? It's not like he's flying off the edge like Reddick was a couple years ago, as a speed rusher. He doesn't have that repertoire yet. So it's not like he's it's not like he's offsetting his limitations as a run defender with outstanding pass rush reps. He's not. So he shouldn't be out there as an edge rusher outside of maybe a handful of plays. Maybe 2 to 4 plays, maybe get him on the edge in certain situations, sure. But that's not where he should be primarily used. I still think in passing down the situations, you need a guy out there like Jihad over Dean. And so that's my criticism. The one thing I do worry about, and it pains me to say this because I like the guy a lot, but I do worry about Sidney Brown. Because, as hopeful as I was, he has looked really, really bad. Yes. And so I'm not afraid to admit I was wrong about Sidney Brown. He's looked really, really bad. And it's he was bailed out by inaccurate throws against the Bears. Plays where he just missed. His guy got open on him really easily, but it just wasn't a touchdown because it was a bad pass.
Les Jones said he was awful last week. I've never heard Les.
He was really bad.
No, he's not been a big Sidney.
Yeah, so that's where I think if there's one area of the defense that I'm concerned about, it's safety. It's Sidney Brown. Unless he can really, really improve from here on out and be at least adequate in coverage, then okay. But I still think, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you kind of got to hope Marcus Epps can come in and be adequate. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because he's had experience.
Can't be worse than Sidney has played, which unfortunately sucks just because I think you and I liked him more than most.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's the one area. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if there's any other area of the defense where you're really concerned about.
No, it's probably safety right now.
We have issues with third world problems on defense. First world problems on offense.
Exactly. I had so many people I came across a lot of people that were just really pissed off about the defense and saying, "Oh, are we gonna make excuses for Fangio?" No, we're not making.
It was a bad game.
It was bad.
He's allowed with what he's been able to give up, what he's been dealing with all season. He's allowed a bad game. If it continues on, that's a different story.
Steve Spagnuolo, who I'd say is probably, would you guys agree, the best really defensive coordinator of the game, right?
Yep.
He has bad games. Yeah, you can criticize him you can criticize Vic and this defense for that Bears game. That's fine. It doesn't mean that I should lose faith in him. He's still.
I see fixable things on defense, whereas I don't see fixable things on offense because it's been the same song and dance every week for 12 weeks.
You know what brings it's this defense is a really good defense. Is it an elite defense?
No.
What we're seeing from the Texans or the Seahawks, right? No, I would I'm missing a unit and I feel bad. There's another Broncos, sorry. So Broncos, Seahawks, Texans, are they that good? No, they're not that good, but they're still really good. I'd say like they're like a second tier unit. The issue is with how bad the offense is, like the Eagles are relying so much on that defense to bail them out. And at some point it was gonna break, you know what I mean? Like the dam was gonna break at some point when you put that much pressure on the defense to continue to make stops after stops after stop. So I don't. This defense, no matter how you spin it, is still a really good unit. The offense has to wake up and help out this defense.
Can we talk about the quarterback?
Yeah, he was bad.
Yeah,
he
was
bad.
really bad. He was really
horrendously bad.
Yeah,
he was really bad.
No one's gonna dispute that.
Let me ask you this. Say it's 21-3. We're down Monday night at halftime, and it looks bad. Do you let Tanner go try and do something in the second half?
No.
I think I was. I was close to tweeting it. I was close to tweeting it
I know
at halftime of this game.
I would not. I still would not. I think Jalen has gone past the point where he deserves the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Especially
giving him the benefit of the doubt the entire season.
He's been good all season. Like there's been a few stretches.
Been good all season.
He has though.
I did PY. I think he's had 3 or 4 ever since the bye week. He hasn't looked great. So I think we've gone past the point where we can say all season he's looked really good. No, I think like
we've had games where it's not perfect. Like I think he was bad. He was bad. Like I'll say that. Like he was bad against the Bears.
But we've also had games.
It's also not. Oh my God! Let's go look at Taylor McKee season. Like,
well, I need to figure out if this is a Jalen problem or an offensive scheme problem. Jalen missed a lot of throws.
Wait,
Jalen missed a lot of throws against the Bears on Friday.
It's not a quarterback problem.
I think Hurts deserves part of the blame here. Hurts absolutely deserves part of the blame. I agree with PY. It's not to the point where I would be benching him.
But McNabb got benched for a half in his heyday.
That was McNabb.
And came back.
McNabb never won a Super Bowl MVP.
McNabb does not deserve the benefit. Never deserved the benefit of the doubt like Jalen.
No,
they put Kevin Cobb in the game against the Ravens. Donovan McNabb was ineffective.
But
what happened after that, PY? What happened after that? The Eagles won the rest of their games and lost to the Cardinals. So you're just completely letting Jalen Hurts off the hook.
When am I letting him off the hook? I think he's been a good quarterback this year. There has been moments where he has not played well. The Bears game was a very bad game from him and a bad look. But I'm sorry. I'm not benching him for Taylor McKee. Excuse my French. Who the hell is Taylor McKee? Okay. I'm sorry. He's great. He's great coming out of Stanford. He's looked good against the Giants. That's it.
Okay. PY, you're getting red. Let's calm down.
I don't think letting him go in for a half.
Let's
and letting him try to do something in a lost cause game and letting Jalen watch for a half would be the worst thing in the world.
What does that do? What does that do? What does that do?
Fucking relax, PY.
What does it do? I'm asking you.
We're at DEFCON 4 or 5 right now.
Yeah, and my whole purpose is figuring out this offense, not trying to see what Taylor McKee is giving me week 13.
You can count on one hand the amount of teams in the NFL that I feel confident the Eagles can beat this upcoming weekend.
Let's put it this way. Okay, hold on. Matt Berg makes a good point. I wouldn't bench Jalen until that first Commanders game. If Jalen can't get it together after a long week or against the Raiders. So, again, I don't think we're at the point where you can bench Jalen. I also think a scenario where I see Hurts reasonably getting benched is if he has one of the most horrific halves of an NFL quarterback, where it's like
4 interceptions against the Raiders.
4 interceptions and a half, and he looks lost. And if he's shown that he's partly injured, right? If he can't move, his leg is hurt and he can't run. So those are like extreme circumstances where I'm like, okay, you gotta let Jalen sit. Other than that, it's not to the point where I would bench him. I get what you're saying, Briggs, because they did it with McNabb before. That was 20 years ago. I don't believe that's a you can apply the same things 20 years ago to this team now, especially since this quarterback has shown a penchant to play at a high level and turn around in a half. So I just like if there's one thing that Jalen has, it's resiliency, right? And it's his poise and being able to rebound off of bad performances and still be the same.
But
that's why I
think if you wait till the Commanders game, Chucks, the season's gone.
Yeah, but here's the opposite. Here's the other end of that decision that you're of benching him that you're not taking into consideration. If you bench Jalen and it goes bad with McKee, your season is gone. Also, like your season is already gone. You cannot go back to Jalen and expect the same stuff.
Yes, you can. He makes $100 and some odd billion.
What you think? If you bench him, you have told the entire team, and the coaches have told this entire team that they no longer believe in that quarterback, and it's done.
I don't think I don't think Kevin Patullo believes in.
I don't give a shit what Kevin Patullo thinks. He can't walk and talk at the same time. Okay.
Yeah, let's.
I think he can. I think he schemes some good things against
if you think that.
I think he should. Well, I mean, what's in my brain right now is Dallas Goedert up the seam, and Jalen Hurts had a drag route to Devontae Smith that would have been a touchdown.
That wasn't
on Kurt Warner literally went over this during the week. Like,
that's not on Hurts. That's he's reading the one side, and it doesn't matter what Goddard does on that.
Then why didn't he hit the drag route over the middle to Devontae Smith, which also would have been a touchdown because Kevin Byard had his back turned 15 yards.
Hold on.
Hold on. Quick out to Jahan Dotson. And it's the worst throw I've ever seen in my life.
Wait,
bro.
Hold on. So for that play, all I'm saying is that you can criticize Hurts because I think ultimately that is on Hurts, in my opinion. That play overall is on Hurts. Not seeing Goddard or throwing to Goddard, that's not the part because it doesn't matter what Goddard does. That's not the read. That's not where you first go to. That's not the first part of the progression, right? It doesn't. And to anyone that's saying, "Oh, he was the hot route," the Eagles don't run hot routes, so it doesn't. And he wasn't a hot route either, anyways, because a hot route, your head is turned immediately. Goddard's head is not turned until he's 8 yards down the field, so he wasn't a hot route. So you can't go to Goddard anyways. Hurts made the right read to target and look at Smitty first. That's the right read. The issue is that's an option route. And him and Smitty weren't on the same page. The reason why I still put that on Hurts Hurts thought Smitty was going to sit down on a hook route, right? But Smitty chose to break it inside. When you're taught on an option route, and I looked this up I got this from one of my coaching sources. For receivers, they're taught on an option route like that, you prioritize breaking inside unless that's blocked off. So considering that the middle of the field was open, Smitty probably made the right decision to break it inside. And Hurts miscommunicated with him or misread it and thought he was going to stay and sit in the hook. So that's on Hurts. That's absolutely so. That's a bad miss by Hurts because that's a touchdown, 100%. My whole point is just that don't bring up the Goddard thing because the Goddard thing is irrelevant. I thought that I'm surprised in the halftime show. Who was it? Ryan Fitzpatrick brought that up because I figured he'd known better being a former quarterback. That's not part of the read. So I'm just saying I'm critical of Hurts too. That was bad, and that's a miss on him. But it's not because he missed Goddard. It's not because he missed Goddard.
I'm just sick of watching Jalen Hurts. I mean, it's the same thing that we talked about in the preseason. Like he doesn't step up in the pocket. He always rolls out. He doesn't throw over the middle. Like that's hindering this team. His unwillingness to adapt.
The over the middle part is really confusing to me because Hurts has shown
excellent at it.
Hurts has shown that when he does it, he's good at it. Like, he's pretty good at it. He's not like elite. I'm not saying he's like Burrow or Lamar when it comes to throwing to the middle of the field, but he's still good at it. He's more than competent doing it. For some reason, and no one knows, they just don't call a lot of plays in the middle of the field.
I think it's because he doesn't like it.
That's probably part of it. But then also, if it's something that he has shown he can do, it's got to be a more consistent thing. Like, he did it against the Bears. Like, against the Bears, that was a point of emphasis to attack the middle of the field. And his numbers throwing to the middle of the field, I think he was like 6 of 8 for I forget how many yards, but they were good numbers. So he threw to the middle of the field a good amount against the Bears. It's more so like consistently week in and week out, they don't do that. So that's where I'm saying it's partly probably because of Hurts, because part of it is probably because he doesn't feel overly confident to do it a lot, but he's shown that he's okay. He's fine with doing it a little bit. So the coaches have to be able to pull that trigger and call plays, even if it's just like 3 to 5 times a game. Yeah, 3 to 5 times during the game, call plays that target the middle of the field. Call those so that you can still show you can access that part. It's too inconsistent. So I'm not absolving Hurts. I'm saying it's on both of them. They've got to get on the same page, the coaches, the play callers, and Hurts, to be able to do that more. And that's just it's just one of the many things schematically where it's just like there's so many things to fix. There's so many things.
There's also reports that Jalen Hurts doesn't like when there's QB design runs in the playbook.
Considering he leads the NFL in QB attempts at runs, that's hilarious.
They're not design runs.
And you have to take out tush pushes too. And it's even though he leads the league by that stat against I think that includes tush pushes, which you have to take out, but you can't look at that metric. You have to look at his metric over the past years. In terms of past years, this is a down year in terms of Hurts rushing. And I think we've seen it. What makes it different this year, PY, is that the running game is struggling.
Yep.
So one of the ways to get the running game going is by QB design runs. So it doesn't matter if he's running more than he did last year, it doesn't matter because last year the running game was working. Right now the running game is not working. So you need him to run more. And so if to that report, I don't know to what extent that report is viable.
And nor do I.
But
they're not doing it.
If there is pushback by Hurts against running the ball more, that is a concern. And I made that point a couple of days ago.
Maybe it would open up the run game if you did QB power 8 to 10 times a game.
It would help opening it up. Yeah, it would help open it up.
I mean,
absolutely.
He had how many 50-yard touchdowns in the playoffs last year off QB power?
I don't remember. I mean, there's one.
He had one against the Rams in the snow for sure. It wasn't snowing when he did it.
But
he had one in that game, and he definitely had one against the Commanders in the championship. That's 2.
Did he have? Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't 50 yards, but it was that they were in like the red zone, like a 20-ish yarder. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, 100%.
And so, I don't know what he's doing with his ball security on the tush push.
I mean I'm not even. I can't kill him for that because they should have that should have been called forward progress.
Well, not only that.
That's a stone fumble and a great play by that guy because Jalen Hurts is holding the ball like a loaf of bread.
On Hurts, you can't. No matter what, if a guy fumbles, that's still on him. It's also though they did last week. They changed up their alignment to where. So you guys remember before, Saquon and Goddard used to be on both sides of Hurts and pushed them, right? I think last week they changed it up, and now they're not on either side. So what happened was, because Hurts was unprotected on that one side, that's how Byard came in and poked it free. So it was like a little adjustment like that even made a difference.
Yep.
Yeah, it's bad.
I have way more issue with this than I do Jahad Campbell. Tank Bigsby, Zero carries.
Yeah, that's
Zero carries is bad. 10 carries is too much, but zero.
How about 5 to 7? Like,
Yeah, 5 to
is
7.
that like
He's averaging 9 yards a carry?
Because I think he's shown to where when you give him room, like he can make you suffer. Like he can make plays. Like we've watched it. Like I'm not saying he needs to cut a huge thing away from Saquon. Obviously, Saquon's not playing like he should be right now.
He needs touches. Yeah.
Saquon still needs touches, but like I think Bigsby, if you even give him 5 to 7 touches a game, you're
pretty much stealing the words out of my mouth. You're taking what I had said.
Why don't we make formations and situations where we have both Tank Bigsby and Saquon Barkley in the game?
We had that one.
Go talk to your genius offensive coordinator.
We did use a pony press. I forget if it was either the Cowboys game or the Bears game. We did have one snap where they were with pony personnel, where both of them were out there. But I mean, you're preaching to the choir. I love pony personnel, but Eagles have rarely ever used it ever since I've been calling for it, like back in the Doug P days. So I don't know. Yeah,
but this is what I'm talking about with the head coach. With the head coach, he's evaluating everything. We're doing this. We're looking at that. It's the same song and dance. Each Monday we come on this show, and the list of concerns doubles.
It's the same stuff I've been saying for weeks. That's why I said beat a dead horse. Like nothing has changed. Like there was the 2 games before the bye where they were looking different, and we were like, okay, this looks better. But then after the bye week, it was like gone.
Yep.
And I don't know what happened.
Under center went away.
I don't know why. It makes no sense. So it's frustrating.
You don't think they're under center enough post bye?
No.
The
last 2 games they've barely been under center. And Chuck watches the all 22 far. So I'm going to take his word for it. But from what I've seen, hell no.
Yeah, they've used it, but not at the rate that they were. Not the rate they were. Not the rate they were against what was it, Minnesota and New York. They were really leaning on under center, and it was going well for the most part. I just don't know why they go away from that.
Remember, I asked that if it was planned or is it they were in trouble, so that's what they did.
So I don't know, guys. We'll see what they do. I don't know how much confidence I have in this team turning around by Monday night, but they've got to show something. They've got to show something. This offense.
What's the
any final thoughts before we head out of here, guys?
I've talked enough about this dumpster fire. I'm just going to look at the spread. I'm interested to see what the spread is on the game.
Yeah, what's the spread right now?
The Eagles are favored by 3 points on the road. That's a joke. They were favored by 7 against the Bears. So the people in the desert in Las Vegas who are way smarter than anyone at making these lines.
Bingo. That comment right there.
Yeah, they go away from it. I don't know.
True.
I don't know, man.
I don't understand how this team
you have a dope calling place. That's why.
Yeah.
I don't understand how this team can be favored against it, especially on the road.
I don't know.
I don't understand.
Super
low over.
I wonder if they're factoring in Herbert's injury. And with it being unknown.
They already know. Vegas already knows if Justin Herbert's going to play or not. Somehow. Okay. I don't know how, but low.
Well, I mean, the line does move as the week goes on, though.
I mean, if something broke about Justin Herbert's health, yes, it would move. And I would imagine this would shrink because I think people are going to see – because we had a standalone game on Amazon Prime and the Eagles look like complete trash. So I would imagine that the public will be betting the Chargers, even though they're not right now. Yeah, they're really not right now. Super low over under at 40.5, which is really low for really low for a pro football game, especially in this day and age. I don't know. the public and Las Vegas seem to still like the Eagles way more than the fan base.
Way
But I
more
said
than-
Vegas. I said Vegas was crazy before the Bears game, favoring the Eagles by 7. And I told all my friends and family about at Thanksgiving that I don't see how the Eagles can be favored by 7. I'm
Yeah, that line was
predicting an
really-
egg, and everyone said I was nuts, and I was right.
All right, gentlemen. Good stuff. Thank you to all those who chimed in. The chat was really good today. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening and watching. If you want some detailed film breakdown and more NFL talk, Pete and I will be on, Pete Evans and I will be on Film Don't Lie. Our episode should be out Wednesday morning, so just in time for your morning commute. Watch us while we do some film breakdowns. We're going to talk about the NFC playoff picture and how that was shaken up with all the upsets from week 13. It was crazy. So we'll talk about like the Rams loss to the Panthers. We'll talk about the Packers being the Lions. We'll talk about the Eagles and the Bears game. So tune in on 8 o'clock and catch me and P on Film Don't Lie. Thank you to our sponsors, Baggio's Bread. Again, mention A2D Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. One more programming note to remind everyone, next week with the Eagles playing Monday night, we will be doing a recap show. So you won't see us at 9. You'll see us right after the game ends, which should be around, between 11 and 11:30. So catch us right after the game and get your frustrations out about the Eagles.
Hopefully we won't be. Hopefully we won't be frustrated.
Hopefully. But I'm not going to get my hopes up just
I
yet.
don't see how we're not going to be frustrated, but I hope I'm not frustrated.
Exactly, Brinks. For myself, for Brinks, and for PY, we appreciate all of you, and we will see you next week. And we reluctantly say, go Birds.
Go Birds.